All right. So, what are your thoughts on the HKCC9? I think it is, it's good for what it is. One of the things that you want to take into consideration, any small pistol, it's going to be snappy. Well, most small pistols are going to be snappy. This was not that bad. I've shot worse. Now, would I carry this? Absolutely. I would absolutely carry this. However, I would put a little more time at the range in with it because I want to get more proficient with this. I want to understand the trigger. I want to understand the grip. I want to make sure I get the dots sighted in properly. Maybe 12, 15 yards out, you know. Reliability, of course, from, just the repetition of this company alone. The reliability is definitely there. This firearm is going to, I'm sure this thing will eat up most ammo, right? I have not had one failure. To me, it shot pretty okay for what it is. Again, would I carry it? Yes, of course. It's definitely going to be a part of my carry rotation. And like I said, I would definitely have to put a little bit more time on the range with it so I can get more proficient with using this. Okay, some folks might ask, or they might say, it's a pretty big target, right? Why do you need precision shot? So the reason why you need precision shot in certain situation is if you happen to have to use your firearm in your home, you want to make sure that you're making precision shots because we know who is in the other room. Okay, so we're going to do a quick situation here. We got the mag. I got 12 loaded in there. Clear. So, right. Target is about 12 inches wide, and you're about 7 yards out. Not bad, but as you can see, you got a lot of flyers, so it's a lot of variables there. Okay, that's why it's good to work on precision shooting. If you're going to get a firearm regardless of what it costs, those kind of things. I mean, I've seen some firearms that cost a lot of money and they turned out to be trash. So I'm not going to mention any names or any of those things, but I'm just saying some firearms are cheap and they turned out to be very well. They perform well, they carry well, those kind of things. So it's all about, trial and error, right? What works for you. So would I recommend this? I would definitely recommend this. For me, for you, look at the video. There's tons of other videos out there. Make a decision if it's right for you. And it might not be right for you right off rip. Your first 2 times to the range, you might have to make some adjustments. But at the end of the day, if this is what you want to carry, then you're going to have to put the work in. Like anything else, get proficient at it and carry it because you like it. It's what you wanted. So new mags, gonna be a little difficult to load. If you have a mag loader, that helps. If not, you know, work on your thumb muscle. In. Snappy little thing. We could have do better on the grouping, but not bad. All right, looks like we're shooting left, so we got to pull over some. Clear. Okay, now normally 100 rounds, you don't necessarily need to clean your firearm. You get up there to maybe 1,000 or so. Yes, some I mean, I got a couple of buddies that, you know, they do this stuff for a living, and they run their guns 2,000-3,000 rounds without having to clean it. But you know, if this is what you carry on you every day, those kind of things, definitely want to clean it, make sure it's lubed, make sure it's ready to go. Do not use too much lube. You don't want to turn this thing into a flamethrower. Okay. All right, so what I use is the CLP by Lucas, cleans, lubricates, and protects. And I also have this right here, as you know, just as a little tap up, you know. So I'm gonna go ahead and break this down real quick so you can see. Again, like I mentioned at the range, new magazines, the spring in these things are stiff. You have to work them in. You're going to notice after, you know, a couple of times, maybe 4 or 5 times, or however long it takes going to the range, loading them, shooting it, those kind of things, you'll notice it starts getting easier for you to load the mags. But I was able to get 12 rounds in here without an issue. And I didn't have not one malfunction. Okay. So let's go ahead and break this down. Obviously, you see it's clear. So what you're going to do now, if you're going to rock your slide from the front here, that's what these serrations are for, right? Press check in like that, right? You don't want to go from this angle with your hands down in front of the muzzle. If you're going to rack like that, make sure the muzzle is exposed in a safe direction. However, press check. Okay, that's what that's for. Now you want to push the slide back. See where my hands is? Not covering the muzzle. Fingers are extended, just 2 fingers. Push that way, push that way. So what you're trying to do is you're pushing in the same, you're pushing this way and you're pushing this way at the same time, and then you're activating this lock. So ready? 1, 2, 3, push. The spring on this thing is really stiff, so it's going to take some effort. Once you get the slide locked back like that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to pull this lever downwards towards the trigger, just like this. You got to hold on to it. If not, it's going to pop back up like that. Okay? So just grab it, hold on to it, pull down. Once you pull down, what you can do now is you gently release the slide, right? So gently release the slide. So how do you do that? You can either do that by yanking on the back here and riding the slide forward, or you can push on the front like that while pulling down on this, and boom, comes right off. All right, saw that? Okay, let's take a look. Look at that. See that? Not even dirty. You don't even have to oil this because it still has the factory oil in there. It's a brand new firearm, by the way. It was the first time it was shot was today at the range. Okay, let's take a look at this part here. Look at that. Clean. Now, if you have a couple hundred rounds, 1,000 rounds through this thing and you really want to take it apart, so here's what you do. Just go ahead. You don't even have to press on there, but you know, you can just keep a thumb right there, pull the spring upwards, right? So you're going to pull this spring upwards, keep your thumb there. See that? Spring is out. That's a recoil spring. Push that forward, just like that. Pull it up and out, like that. And there you go. Gun is disassembled. All right. And just like that, your gun is disassembled. Now, let's give this a little wipe. I'm going to grab one of these microfiber towels. So you see this right here. See that? Now, the reason you want to wipe this off is, again, if you're carrying this every day, this gunpowder could, you know, it could create a little bit of burning or whatever if it comes into contact with your skin and those kind of things for long periods of time. All right. So you can give it a little wipe down, but you don't necessarily have to, you know, go full on and clean this thing. Now, if you want to clean the bore, this is if you have, like I said, maybe 1,000 or whatever. Let's say you just want to clean it because you're a neat, you're one of those people that likes to keep your stuff clean. Okay. You get you one of these. I can leave a link in the description for this. You know, there's all different types. There's a ton of different types of this. So you see that? Just goes right in there. Give it a couple of push. And you can run this through there as well if you would like. See that? Boom. And she is clean. Okay. Move that off to the side. Give this a little wipe. Give a little wipe in there. If you like. See that? Now, normally there's like some copper looking grease that's in here. I would avoid not wiping that out, but HK did not put that on theirs. Normally you'll find that on like Glocks and those kinds. So yeah. See that? Not even dirty. All right. Yeah, just give it a little wipe, you know, get off some of that extra gunpowder or and boom. That's pretty much all you need right there. You don't need to go any further unless you want to and you want to get this thing sparkling clean, then yeah, go for it. Okay? To each his own. So, how are we going to put this back together? Turn the slide upside down like that. Go ahead and you grab the barrel. So, this flat part here is the top. This little angled part here is what faces you if you have the slide flipped over like that. You're going to set it into the front first, pull it forward, and then drop it in, run it back. Okay? Next thing you're going to do is you're going to get the spring. Give that a little wipe as well. Okay, so what we're going to do before we drop the spring back in there is we're going to just give it a little bit of oil. 1 drop, 2 drop. Okay. A little bit of oil on there. Put the front in first. So you see this flat part right here. All right? See, there's 2 different ends. This shiny part, the shiny slim part, faces the back. This part right here faces the front. So you put that in first. And then what you do is you use your thumb and you push forward. Make sure it's seated properly in here. Use your thumb, push forward, just like that, and it drops in. So turn it sideways just to make sure it's sitting nice and flat. Give it a little tug. It's in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to assemble this back on to the chassis. So line it up. It's like backing in a trailer, right? So before you do that, here's what I like to do. Take that same oil, get a little bit in the track. All right. Get a little bit on here. And that's it. Keep it away from the, you know, you don't want to get too much oil in the trigger mechanism. You don't want to get too much oil in the firing pin section either. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead. Back the trailer up. So what you're going to do is you're going to give this a favorable push because you're going to have to lock the slide back. Okay? So remember, same thing. So what you're going to do is you're going to make sure, well, there's no ammo, but you know, you just want to practice this safely at all times. So make sure you keep these elevated just as a safe practice. So you don't do this, you know. Anyways, grab that. You're going to give this a good little push and lock it back. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, push, lock. See that? Now it's locked. You push this up. The slide will not come off when you move the slide forward. So check this out. Pull back, release, back in action. Okay? Give it a little wipe down. You don't want a lot of oil on the outside of your weapon either. This oil will, you know, irritate your skin, your you know, your belly and your abdomen, lower parts. Those are a lot more sensitive to these kind of things than your fingers or your hands are. So you want to get all that stuff off. One of the things I like to do is I like to give this a couple of good racks just to make sure it's in there, on there pretty good, right? So, okay. And if you want, you can give it a little bump. Press check, clear, safe direction. Okay. I wouldn't advise you to dry fire your weapon like that all the time, but every now and then, once you remove the slide, just make sure everything clicks the way it should click. Okay. So what are your thoughts? Now, mags. How should you clean the mag? Should you dump a bunch of cleaner in there, a bunch of oil? No. Just, get a little bit of this on here. Come on. A little bit of this on there. 2 sprays. And you wipe that. See that? Comes right off. You can put a little bit of this on the outside of the mag, but don't dump a bunch of oil in there, because what's going to happen is it's just going to sit there and get all over the ammo and stuff like that, and you're gonna create a fireball. Okay, so right, test run everything. And there it is. What are your thoughts on the HK Cc9? Leave your thoughts in the comment. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, and I will catch you on the next video. I am out of here.